Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So today we're going over our Jellymon Blue Hybrid deck for you guys. Definitely one of a fun decks that I always like to go back to pretty much every format to at least try out, see how I'm liking it, see how it's evolving with new support in the game and with the new Blue Hybrid stuff. I think we got some fantastic new support for the deck that actually really brings it together in a really nice, neat package that we didn't have before. Before we were just kind of nitpicking pieces here and there to kind of make the deck work, but now it's definitely in a much better position. Don't forget, our new memory marker featured this month is going to be Monimon. So if you're playing some Hunters deck, this is going to be a great one to pick up for that deck for your memory marker. This is handmade out of clay, hand painted as well by my wife, Digimon. You can find a link to her Etsy page in the description below. Also on that Etsy page, you can find all of her previous memory markers that we featured for her on the channel before, as well as some updated versions of the old ones. Also, if you're interested in ordering cards online, I suggest checking out cardtrader.com. They actually are an incredible site for ordering cards online, similar to TCG Player, but these guys cut down on your shipping cost. What they do is they gather all the cards from across the globe with whatever language you're looking for. They'll gather all of the cards you're wanting in their warehouse, and then you only pay for a single shipping cost to get all the cards that you're wanting, so shipped to you. And whether that's singles or sealed product doesn't matter. And then also, if you use my affiliate link in the description below there, you can actually get a free $2 to spend on anything you want just for signing up. And just for signing up, it helps support me on the channel as well, as whether you're ordering something or just signing up in general, I get a kickback, so it helps support the channel without even having to donate anything. So if you want to help support the channel, just go sign up for an account on cardtrader.com and check it out. I do think that getting all my shipping all under one single cost is really great, because that's one thing I do not like about tcgplayer.com is the fact that I have to pay for all these different shipping things. Even if it's for like a $2 card, I have to pay $1 shipping, or buying a 50-cent card and paying $1 for shipping always feels so bad. So here they'll just gather up all the cards in one place and then ship them to me for one cost. I am a big fan of cardtrader.com, so yeah, definitely go check them out. Please support the channel. All right, so pulled up for you guys is the whole deck, so you can follow along as always and just kind of see what the overall idea of the deck is and just kind of how it's coming together. Now, again, if you're not familiar, the idea with the Jellymon deck is to have Jellymon as your inheritable, and then use this Kyoshiro here to give whatever is evoed on top of the Jellymon jamming. So the idea is attack multiple times with jamming and clear your opponent's security. Okay, so that is the general idea of the deck. So hopefully the rest of this stuff will kind of make sense as we go. So we're playing a lot of Tamers in this deck, and because of that, we're also going to incorporate some hybrids because of the amount of Tamers we're playing. So starting off our baby here, I just got Upamon. I think Upamon's always a classic one. You know, if you attack, your opponent has a Digimon, no Digivolution sources, draw a card. You could also run the Demi-Meramon that will give, or not Meramon, Demi-Vmon, that when attacking, if this Digimon has jamming, gain 1 memory. But you don't always have the jamming, and then you have a much more likelihood of your opponent having no sources. So that's why I went with the Upamon. But again, the Demi-Vmon also a fantastic choice. So of course we're playing both Jellymons, because these are currently the only Jellymons we have in the game. The BT9 one here. Your turn, once returned when you play a blue Tamer, draw a card. So that's not too bad for later uses. And some other combos that we can talk about here in just a minute when we get into our blue hybrids here. And then the inheritable of your turn, once returned when in effect, adds a card to your hand. Return one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to its owner's hand. So this can be really cool with something like a Beowulfmon being able to proc this Jellymon effect. So yeah, Then we have the promo Jellymon that when attacking, if you have a Kirishiro in play, draw one card. That's why the memory fixer I went with is the Kirishiro here. He's going to be your memory fixer. I could have gone with a different one like Davis or something for more, for like that search power, but it felt like if we're playing this Jellymon here, that we would probably want a little bit more Kirishiro. So that's why I went with that is the memory fixer to go with this Jellymon. And that is actually it for all of our rookies. That for the most part, you either have a Leomon, which you're going to hard play with a Jerry. You're going to have the Tesla Jellymon that's going to go on top of either of these Jelly, and then you're going to have your blue hybrids that are going on top of your Tamers. So you actually don't need a like tremendous amount of rookies. So that's why there's only just the 8 there. So first up for our blue hybrids is the Lanamon. So you can Digivolve for 0 on top of Kalmaramon, which is the other level 4 that we have here. And you can also Digivolve, of course, onto a Tamer because it's a hybrid. When Digivolving, by placing a level 3 Digimon card from your hand as the bottom Digivolution card of one of your blue Digimon, this Digimon gains jamming for the turn. So what's really kind of neat about this is I can go into Lanamon and then slide in a Jellymon underneath a different Digimon I have. Lanamon gains jamming, and then if I have my Kirishiro, I can give that other target that I just slid that Jellymon under jamming as well, which is really cool. Or you can put it underneath the Lanamon to give it jamming if you want. Not a bad call if you don't have a Kirishiro in play, or if you Digivolved on top of your Kirishiro for this Lanamon, you can still slide in the Jellymon to give it jamming. So it could be relevant. And then the Kalmaramon here can Digivolve for 1 on top of Lanamon herself, or on top of a Tamer as if it was a rookie for a 3 Evo cost on that one. So just kind of keep that in mind. Keep your memory in check there. But when attacking, you may play one blue level 3 Digimon card from one of your blue Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying the cost. It doesn't have to be this one specifically, because again, this is a blue hybrid, so you might not have it. But if you go Kalmaramon on top of Lanamon, and Lanamon slid under a Jellymon, then you go Kalmaramon, and then you can play that Jellymon out for free. So that's really cool, like interactions that these two have, and you can actually just keep bouncing back and forth between them, and you can just keep playing out Jellymons for free, which is pretty crazy. Just a whole field full of Jellymons that you got to play for free off of these two, because the Lanamon Evo 0 on top of Kalmaramon, and then the Kalmaramon is a 1 Evo, so it's literally just 2 Evos, 1 memory, and boom, another Jellymon on the field. So pretty cool little interactions there that you can do with that. And then, yeah, just flood your field with Jellymons. Now, again, they will have Summoning Sickness, but could be useful for a later turn. We have our Tesla Jellymon here, which is a great one here. End of attack. Once per turn, you can trash 2 cards in your hand to unsuspend this Digimon. I like that this is end of attack because, say you hit into an option, right? You got jamming, so like the likelihood of surviving is pretty strong. But say you hit into a kill option and they kill it, you didn't have to discard the 2 cards beforehand because that always really hurts. So yeah, it's after the fact, which is great. Jumping over Leomon for a second, going into Thetismon here. This is our level 5 for our Jellymon. When Digivolving, if you have 6 or fewer cards in hand, draw 2. So, because all that discarding we're doing with the Tesla, this will help get you those sources back, those hand resources. And then when attacking once per turn, if you have 8 or more cards in your hand, by trashing 2 cards in your hand, unsuspend this one. Now, this one is when attacking. So this is before the check goes off. You have to decide if you want to give up the 2 cards or not to unsuspend, but still really strong. Depends on the match you're playing against if you want to risk it or not. It is nice that this one, though, you get a guaranteed basic 2 draw to get you up, so you don't have to waste those resources and it might not pan out. So, you can almost look at it as a draw 2, discard 2, which isn't too bad. For all the purple players out there, that's fine for them. They don't mind that. And same kind of premise here is draw 2, discard 2, and you get to attack twice. Pretty good stuff. Beowulf in here is just to kind of check, since we are running the blue hybrid level 4s, what other better level 5 blue hybrid are we going to run than Beowulf here? 1 Evo cost if there's a Tamer in the source, and then when attacking, you may return 1 card with hybrid and its traits from this Digimon's Digivolution cards to your hand to return one of your opponent's level 4 lower Digimon to its owner's hands. Trash all Digivolution cards of that Digimon. So if you bounce a level 4 to hand with a Beowulf here, and you can trigger your Jellymon here of a card was added to your hand, so you can return a level 3 of your opponent's. Now, again, in theory, it might not be under there, but if you go Lanamon, slide this Jellymon under with the Lanamon, and then go into Beowulfmon, you can, in fact, trigger it for yourself. So, yeah, you will have a rookie as well as a Tamer underneath your Beowulf. So, it actually works. The synergy is there, which is really, really cool. And then our level 6 here is so we have 6 level 5s, so 2 level 6s here. Mirage Galgamon just been putting in some pretty good work for some blue decks here recently, and I wanted a level 5, something generic enough that it would work. We don't want to run anything too hybrid specific for megas, because getting up there can be a little bit of a pain. I have the 2 Beowulfs in here, but that's for 8 level 4 hybrids, so that balances out. And I didn't want to go with like the old faithful of, what's his name, the dragon that gains 1 memory back for every Digimon your opponent has with no source. We're not trashing a whole bunch of sources in this deck like what you do in a traditional blue hybrid deck, so I didn't want to go with that route. Zulongmon, that was the one. I don't want to go with that route with him, so Mirage Galgamon seems a really good generic blue level 6. So when Digivolving, 4 Evo cost here, but it does mitigate that. When Digivolving, return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon to its owner's hands. If no Digimon was returned by this effect, your opponent adds the top card of their security stack to hand. And then all turns, yours and your opponent's, that's what all turns means, once per turn, when an effect adds a card to your opponent's hand, gain 1 memory for every 4 in your opponent's hand. If this is mid to late game, I mean, there's a good chance your opponent has 8, 12 cards in hand pretty easily. So this is like a 2 Evo cost level 6, and then I get to either bounce a Digimon or bounce a security, not trash. It's a bounce security to hand. That's really, really strong. So nice, good, solid, generic level 6 blue mega. So that's why he's in here. Getting into our options, of course, we have the one of Ice Wall, just a fantastic card. Play it for 1, put your opponent to 1 memory, and then if they attack, it instantly becomes your turn again. That's stupid strong. There's a reason it's limited to 1. If it wasn't limited to 1, we'd absolutely play more of this card. The format when we ran 4 Ice Walls was truly an awful format. And then the next ones here, I've got Howling Memory Boost as well as Sorai, and it was mostly just I couldn't make up my mind which one I want more. I like them both. I think this is definitely a like player preference sort of situation. So Sorai here is trash the top 4 Digivolution cards of one of your opponent's Digimon, so it can avoid stuff like X antibody that normally can't be trashed. And then until the end of your opponent's turn, your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards can't attack. So that's a blanket effect. Your opponent's whole field, anything that doesn't have a source, cannot attack. That's really, really good. And trashing 4 sources is really strong. So aside from like an X antibody themed deck where they're going to have multiples of the same levels going up, Sorai should be able to stun most everything. But the other choice was the Howling Memory Boost, which was trash. It's only 2 Digivolution cards from the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimon, but then one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards can't attack or block until the end of your opponent's next turn. Now, it only trashes 2, and it only stuns 1 target. Now, it doesn't have to be the same target that you trash the sources of, but it's a little bit more limited. It's 3 memory instead of the 4 memory like Sorai is, but then the delay gain 2, like that side benefit there, that gain 2 memory could be pretty crucial. We do have a memory fixer here, so it may be not as important. I think the stun effect is by far Sorai is definitely the better. Just the Howling Memory Boost, having that delay gain 2 could also be pretty important to you depending on the player that we're talking about. But I think Sorai is definitely the more powerful of the card. Kikaida's Breath, I swear I got rid of that card. Instead of Kikaida's Breath, we're actually going to run the new blue option card that bottom decks. So it's normally a 9 play cost card that you can slide a blue source on field underneath one of your Digimon to make it 6. So with our Kalmara plays and Lanamon, so Lanamon play in a Jellymon or source a Jellymon, the Lanamon play out Kalmaramon play out the Jellymon, and then I can go into, if it will ever get there and load. So slow, internet. Come on, speed up a little bit here. Almost there. Not V-Laser. Come on. Just a little bit. There we go. Great Maelstrom. That was the card I was wanting. So 9 play cost goes down to a 6, so it reduces the play cost by 3. Then return one of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of the owner's deck. Bottom decking something is way more powerful than I think returning it to hand. And potentially, it's either 2 more memory or it's 1 less memory, and I think this deck can really capitalize on this ability to slide it underneath something, especially if you slide the Jellymon underneath a different source somewhere else. You can move your Jellymon inheritable around. That's really cool. Again, more reasons that just 8 is fine, because we can use like Lanamon and stuff like that to slide it around. Great Maelstrom can move it around as well as a different inheritable. So really strong card. I really like Great Maelstrom. And my wife really wanted the ancient Mermaidmon in the deck because she really wants to play this deck. And I was like, that card is terrible. I'm not putting her in this. But hey, Great Maelstrom, that's got her in the card art. There you go. We worked her into the deck somehow, and it actually ended up being a great choice. Now, this part right here, I would say, is a massive flex spot. Offensive plug-in A. So if you have a Tamer in play, you can ignore the color. One of your Digimon gains security attack +1. Security attack +1 on something that is attacking twice with jamming. And if you go into Thetis, then that's another 2 attacks. That's 6 attacks in 1 turn with security attack +1. I mean, that's what is that, 12, right? Or am I mathing that wrong? It's 4, right? It's 4 attacks in total. So 8 security checks. So that last swing should be swing for game because there shouldn't be any security left in theory. Yeah, fantastic, great game-ending card there. If you have the setup, you have the play, go for it. Absolutely super strong play. Big fan. Now getting into our Tamers here, of course we have the Kirishiro, which I already talked about, just to combo off with the Jellymon here, the promo one, as well as when you attack with a Digimon that has Jellymon in its name or is level 5 or higher, just anything level 5 or higher. If you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, you may suspend this Tamer to draw 1. What I really liked about this is it worked great with the Thetis. Thetis will draw you 2 if you have 6 or fewer, and then if you still are short on cards, you can go with the Kirishiro to draw you cards yet again, as well as like with the Tesla Jellymon. If you don't have enough cards for Tesla Jellymon, she has Jellymon in the name, so you attack with her, Kirishiro is going to get you another card, so that's more targets to discard for your level 4 and your level 5 Jellymons. So he actually is a pretty good synergy with the deck. Of course, we have the Kirishiro that gives the jamming, which is like, should make plenty of sense here. This card is stupid cheap, by the way. It's like $3. If you're this far in the video and you don't own 4 of this card, go pick up 4 of this card. Okay, $12 get you a play set. That's a steal. Okay, on a promo card that has no printing in any actual physical set. Yeah, that's a great one to pick up. That could literally go, like, a promo card like that could just become stupid good overnight and literally go to $30 a card. You ever want to see a card get bought out, let it become good. It'll become like Magna Angemon was a $4 card at one point and it took it a year and a half to come back down from like the $40 price range. It was a $4 card for like the first 6 months of this game, or not even first. It was like first 3 months of this game. It was like a $4 card, and then it was pretty much forever a $30 card after that until literally like 2 months ago. So yeah, about 2 years. So Kirishiro, like, go pick it up. If you're this far, go pick it up. And the last card we want to talk about is Jerry here. On play, you may play 1 Leomon from your hand without paying its memory cost. We need Tamers in the deck, and if I'm hard playing Tamers, I could play, like, there's a couple routes you could go with on your Tamers. You could go with, like, what we've talked about in the Old Force deck profiles, the Sora and Matt, right, the red-blue duo Tamer, you could go with that, and then you could work in something like a Delicate Plan to turn off all those options. Not a bad choice. I decided to go with the Jerry on this, though. So I can play that Leomon, and then opponent's turn. When opponent's Digimon attacks, I can suspend this Tamer to draw a card. More draw power because we're discarding so much in this deck. But whether you're sourcing stuff underneath Lanamon, or you're trashing because of the Tesla, or you're trashing because of the Thetis, there are multiple different avenues of just losing hand resources without getting any kind of recursion. So the Jerry and the Kirishiro here, kind of helping out a little bit here. And then the Leomon, also fantastic. So you got to play this guy out. If you have a Tamer in play, you gain blocker, which is great because you should always pretty much be planning on playing this guy off of the Jerry. If Jerry gets hit in security, you can play her for free, and then you get her on play effect to play out a Leomon in the middle of your opponent's turn with blocker, and then on deletion, gain 2, draw 1. So again, more draw power as well as that gain 2. Opponent often doesn't want to swing if there's a Leomon on field because they don't want to pass turn. They'll go through all these plays. They're like, okay, there's nothing my opponent can do to gain memory. Cool, I'm good. I'm going to set up. My plays are done. I'm at 0 memory. I'm going to start attacking. And it's like, boom, Leomon. Like, well, I guess I'm not attacking anymore because now there's a Leomon in my way that I really don't want to delete and give my opponent tons of value. So Leomon, fantastic card. Love when I can work in the Jerry Leomon combo in a deck, and this seemed like a great fitting spot. Just a free body on field is great. Even if you swing into security and you die, you still gain 2 memory and draw a card, so it just extends your plays even further. And then, like, once you play the Jerry, like, yeah, she has a nice little side effect here, but that's okay. This is a fantastic target to Evo on top of with a blue hybrid. The Kirishiro, you might not want to lose your memory fixer immediately. If this is the only Kirishiro jamming you have, you definitely don't want to Evo on top of this until you get a second one. But you also don't have very good value in playing a second one of this guy. You got to see him ASAP. That's why we run 4 of them. You got to see him as soon as possible. But if you see a second one, you're not all that inclined to play it out because you're not going to get any additional value. Whereas if I draw multiple Jerrys, I definitely have incentive to keep playing those as long as I've got Leomons to back it up. And then the memory fixer as well. I can play out this. I can get some value out of that draw. And even if I have to Evo on top of a second one, that's okay. I still would see other value in it. So you're going to see multiple values of these if you keep playing them while you already have some on field. This one, a little bit less so, but he has a 3 play cost, so that also helps make up for it. Great thing to use to pass turn to set up for your follow-up turn. So that's going to do it for the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you made it this far, please like the video. And if you're not already somehow, please subscribe. It helps the channel out a ton the higher we can go and more content we can make.